record, or however you want to do that. I'd like to call the meeting to order with a flag salute.
Oh, there you go.
I got something across my, there we go. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. June 16th, 2026. This meeting was advertised pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. Notices were sent out to official publications for the Egg Harbor City Municipal Land Use Board, the Press of Atlantic City, and the Hamilton Gazette. A copy of the notice was posted on the bulletin board of the Egg Harbor City Municipal Building.
Yeah.
Will you please enter that into the minutes?
Yes.
And a roll call, please.
Mayor Jim Petty,
Here.
Mr. Timbers, Mr. Garth, Mr. Garth,
Here.
Mr. Peterson,
Here.
Mr. McKenna,
Here.
Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker,
Here.
and Mr. Hess.
Here.
All right, I'd like to have a motion for the approval of the minutes from May 19th, 2026. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? All right, the motion carries. We have no resolutions tonight, so we're going to move right down to new business. We have an application 2026-02, 1018 White Horse Pike, LLC. Would you step forward and be sworn in, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bob Roberto, can you hear us?
Okay.
I hear you.
Please for Roberto and Bob Bruce. Okay.
Yes.
If you gentlemen are both appearing by phone on Zoom, if you would, where you are, raise your right hand. And do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to provide this evening will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
We got another one? Is Bob having technical difficulties, Tom? Can he hear us?
I
Bob,
responded. I said yes.
Okay, you said yes? Okay. I got you, Bob.
Okay,
Being sworn, Mr. Darcy.
thank you. Good evening, gentlemen, Mr. Chairman, Mayor. This is application 2026-02. The property is located at 1018 White Horse Pike, block 526, lot 18, 20, and 21. I represent Roberto Perez. He's the managing member of 1018 White Horse Pike LLC, who is the current owner of this property. Roberto bought this early in 2025. We do have a conforming certificate of filing from Pinelands. Their application number is 2025-0190.001. The only condition that was contained in the certificate of filing was that the Pinelands Commission is requiring that we are going to merge these two lots by a consolidation deed. So lots 18, 20, and 21 will be consolidated by deed. I'll contact the assessor and get the new lot number, and we'll provide evidence of the recording of that deed in the Atlantic County Clerk's office to Donna for your permanent file. This is an application for site plan, a preliminary and final site plan approval for the property. We are proposing a commercial use on the first floor of the existing building. This is an old building. It was built in 1920. It's located near Highway Commercial Zone. So we're proposing a tattoo parlor there. So that service is a permitted use in the HC zone. We're also proposing a second floor residential use. And we were not 100% certain whether or not that would be permitted in the zone. Your engineer has issued a report indicating that in his opinion, although there is some language in your ordinance that suggests that second floor residential uses are encouraged in certain ways, in this particular zone, the second floor residential use can only be a permitted use if it's for senior citizen housing, and we were not proposing that. So the application for the second floor residential use would require a use variance. And because that requires a supermajority of 5 affirmative votes, we would like the board's cooperation to allow us to continue that aspect of the application to the next board meeting without further notice. And hopefully at that time, we will have 7 voting members to hear and decide on the use variance application only. So if it's agreeable with the board and your solicitor, I'd like to limit tonight's application to just the preliminary and final site plan approval for the tattoo parlor on the first floor of the existing structure. Does that sound workable to the board?
Ryan, are you good with that, Ryan?
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. Because the site plan is sort of independent from the use variance for the residential second floor. Site plan is parking, landscaping, and circulation, things like that. So I think that any issues that would arise from the second floor residential could be dealt with separately when we have second floor.
Any comments from the board on that?
Tom, before you go, Chairman, Tom, I just want to ask you, when you noticed, and I'm sorry, I'm going to bring it up now to confirm, but did you notice for a D variance?
Yes, we did indicate in the notice that there was a question about what type of variance would be necessary for that.
Okay.
So we would ask the board if we could get a continuance without further notice.
That, Mr. Chairman, that would be acceptable for my purposes, since it was noticed that we can announce at for the next meeting that this application will be continued.
Okay, thank you, Damon. Is there anybody from the board that would like to comment on that? No comments? Okay, so I guess we'll go with that then. We'll go with the next meeting. We'll do the rest of it.
Thank you, board members. Thank you, Damon. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick overview of the existing conditions, and then we'll get Bob Bruce brought into the mix here, and Bob will explain the proposed improvements that we're proposing for this site.
Tom, do you want me to share my screen so you can see the plans?
I'm sorry?
You want me to share? I can have the plans pulled up. You want me to share my screen so I can plans?
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you, Ryan.
Do we need a motion from the board to move the variance application to the next meeting, or?
We could do, okay, I'll do a motion on that. Does anyone have a motion to
I'll
move
offer
the
that
variance?
motion. I'll offer the motion, Todd.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against that? Okay, it's
Ayes have
so
it.
be it. We'll do it that way.
Okay, that was a motion to bifurcate the application. So,
Yeah, till the next meeting.
yep.
Yes. Okay, so you can see on the screen here, this is site plan sheet one. That's part of Bob Bruce's site plan that he submitted to the board. Sort of in the center left, you can see that the property fronts on the White Horse Pike and has frontage on Boston Avenue and also has frontage on the alley, the 30-foot wide terrace. And the structure itself exists and is located on the terrace. Ryan, would you be able to switch to sheet? There we go, sheet two.
Zoom in.
This shows the proposed conditions, but I'll describe what's existing. 10th Terrace is a improved city street. You can see the commercial building located, it fronts on the terrace. It has a pre-existing non-conforming front yard. That's a existing condition which is protected under statute because it predates the ordinance. If the board is inclined that they want to grant a variance to completely legalize that, I'll leave that up to the board and council. But again, it's a pre-existing non-conforming condition. You can see on the sketch that Ryan has up, there's a parking lot and a driveway that runs from Boston Avenue to 10th Terrace. That are new improvements. The existing driveway just comes off of 10th Terrace, sort of dead ends right next to the building itself. The property is 160 feet wide along 10th Terrace and Boston Avenue, and it's 150 feet wide along the White Horse Pike and the common property line with the neighbor next door. We have city water and city sewer. The proposal here is to make the first floor of the building a commercial tattoo parlor. So that sort of summarizes the existing conditions. Bob, you want to weigh in on what we're proposing from the engineering standpoint?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can. Right side, but yes.
Just wanted to make sure. I've got you on my phone. I've got you on my. Maybe this. I'm getting feedback here. There you go. Is this any better?
That's better.
Much better.
Oh, I had you on the phone and the computer. I just want to make sure I got that. Anyway, good evening. Yes, as Tom mentioned, we're in the corner of the White Terrace. Across 10th Terrace is the Walgreens. On our site, we do have an existing building, as Tom mentioned, and an access from 10th Terrace. The project proposes to provide additional parking areas so that we conform to the ordinance by providing a through drive to Boston, excuse me. And Boston will be a two-way exit and entry. From 10th Terrace, we're one way in. We provide a total of 13 parking spaces along the drive through the property, 10 along the common property line, and 3 others with a handicap space towards the White Horse Pike. Our site include the curb and the curb surrounding the parking and the construction of the fire retention basin small towards Boston Avenue, and then a larger retention basin towards the White Horse Pike. The seasonal high water was unfriendly in that it was close to the surface, so we needed the area for the basin. The basin will cause us to remove some existing trees. There are several dead trees on the site. landscaping along Boston. We're proposing to dress that up and sort of leave that the way it exists. With respect to our neighbor, and we have three fronts, 10th, Whitehorse Pike, and Boston, and then we have the neighbor. There's an existing chain link fence there, and we're able to provide about a 3-foot grassed area down that common property line. The site lighting is proposed to light the 10th terrace from building mounted fixture, and then we place a 24-foot high pole mounted fixture, which is less. The building is 28 feet high, and we're less than that requirement. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Mhm. Bob, quick question for you. The neighbor that you talked about on the left side of the sketch that we're looking at, that is not a residential use. That's a commercial building. Is that correct?
That's correct. There is a grass area to the building on the other side of the fence, and then they access from Boston to their site. Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I'm having trouble hearing Mr. Bruce. I see that he has his name is on the screen twice. Mr. Bruce, is it possible that you have two open and you could mute the other one? I think it's giving you feedback.
I only see him one time. I don't see it twice.
Bring up the list, Todd, and is he in there twice?
Yeah, he's in there twice.
Okay, so mute the one that is in all caps.
Yeah,
You
now
can
I
do
see.
that. The meeting chairman can mute him possibly.
Let me try that, Jack.
Jack, I'm pretty impressed with your understanding of this high-tech world we're in.
I don't understand anything. I'm just making it sound like I do.
Just making observations. Right?
Okay, well,
Yeah, he's got to mute and turn the audio off on the computer because I think he's got audio feeding back into one of them.
Yeah, I turned my computer off.
Okay,
so
Much better.
I
Ideally,
hear you
that-
now.
that won't be a problem. Is this okay here?
Yes, that's much better.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just signed in twice. I wanted to make sure I got here.
Uh-huh. So, Bob, just a couple quick questions. At the present time, there is no real designated parking area for this building. Is that correct?
That's true. You pull onto the site and there is a gravel area sort of in front of the building that extends the length of the building, but it is not paved, it's not marked, there are no wheel stops, etc.
Okay. And also, there are no on-site drainage facilities for this property. Is that correct?
You're correct.
Okay.
Yes.
In your opinion as an engineer, Bob, would you say that the proposed site plan improvements that you have on your site plan are substantial upgrades to this existing commercial building?
Yes, I think the upgrades provide the necessary parking, lighting, stormwater management for the site. Yes.
Okay. And Bob, Ryan McGowan, the board engineer, prepared a very comprehensive engineering review of the site plan. He had numerous comments and concerns about things like landscaping and the technical details of the drainage facilities that were designed. Do you feel comfortable that you can work with Ryan to resolve those landscaping and engineering issues if the board is agreeable that they will grant the site plan approval subject to our being able to comply with all Ryan's comments in his report?
So Ryan and I have worked together on the past on other applications that I have submitted. And we in fact reviewed this particular application this afternoon. And I feel we have a good understanding of what I need to do to satisfy Ryan with respect to his requirements.
Okay. And just so that you understand, Bob, and also Roberto, you're online. If for some reason there's a conflict or a difficulty with the review process where you can't satisfy Ryan on these details, we'd have to come back to the board and have the board review that. Is that your understanding?
Well, yeah, I don't anticipate that at all,
Okay.
but yes,
Mhm.
that would,
Okay. All right, good. Um, what else, Bob? Anything else that you want to point out to the board on the site plan?
I think with respect to the landscaping, we could plant some trees in the vicinity of the basin and between the parking, sort of to meet a requirement there for a parking area. But between the landscaping that's there and the landscaping that we're going to leave, I'd be happy to meet in the field and decide if the area needs to be supplemented. Yes.
Okay, good. They're going to be installing curb and sidewalk on Boston, where we have the two-way entrance.
Yes.
The White Horse Pike is already fully developed. Is there any access proposed out to the pike?
No.
No, none. And on 10th Terrace, the terrace is sort of narrow. It is paved. Um, I think you had an on-site meeting with Ryan about the issue of curb and sidewalk on the terrace itself. Do you recall what you guys had decided?
About the terrace, I think the plan reflects what we decided in that we'd
Mhm.
provide a one-way entrance from 10th Terrace
Okay.
the site, and we would provide an apron and curb returns. Yes.
Mhm. Okay. Anything else, Bob?
I think we should mention the trash enclosure in that the application proposed a private hauler. However, we should mention we want to conform to the city's ordinance with respect to trash enclosures.
And there's plenty of room on site to have an exterior trash and recycling enclosure.
Enclosure. With respect to the freestanding sign, we the plan says also space available and a phone number that's going to be removed from the plan. That was a thought of the owner. I don't know, but that will be removed, and we would modify the building mounted signs in that they will be 2 feet high maximum, and there will be only two. One will be mounted on 10th Terrace, and one will be mounted on the front of the building as you come onto the site. We had requested, I think, 4, but we would propose 2. And I will provide the areas conforming to the ordinance and the height of the ordinance.
Anything else, Bob?
Well, I was just looking. I don't think so, unless you have something. Having reviewed the letter, I feel there, if I haven't mentioned something, that we can satisfy Ryan's requirement.
Okay. I think that concludes our presentation for the moment, Mr. Chairman.
You're muted, Todd.
Todd, I think your voice is muted.
Me? No.
Yes. No, Todd was muted. Todd, can you hear us? Shake your head.
Yeah, I can hear you. I was trying. I was pushing a button like crazy man. Before I go on to Ryan, is there anybody from the board who has any questions?
Just to clarify, Mr. Bruce, you will be constructing a trash enclosure?
Oh, yes, we insist.
Okay. Ryan's review letter said that there was no trash enclosure proposed. I'm just clarifying that you will indeed have a trash enclosure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
I take it that'll be on the neighbor side of the parking lot, I would say, right? As I'm just looking, I'm just guessing
I
somewhere in there.
would see it behind the building from 10th Terrace, right there in the general vicinity of the parking. But
Okay.
that's
Okay,
where I would.
I'm sure I'll work that out with you. Anybody else have any questions before I go to Ryan? No? Okay, Ryan, you ready?
We already went through the use and sort of bifurcated. That was a concern with the proposed residential above. We'll sort of split that off for the following meeting. One thing Tom mentioned was the existing non-conforming condition from front yard setback from 10th Terrace. Do this so we can see both. Okay. The other thing that we highlighted in the zoning table was the wall signs were proposed to be 3 feet in height. Bob already covered that they're going to reduce the wall signs to a 2-foot height, so this will switch from required variance to conforming as long as they do that. Given the technical review, I'll save this whole section for the next meeting where we're talking about the use. Site plan design, couple things I just want to note that I'll go through them all, but these are all ordinance requirements. So I tried to highlight the ordinance section as applies, and then how it applies to the specific application that's missing. So I noted that the applicant doesn't have a dedicated pedestrian route from the parking area to the building. On a small site like this, that's pretty typical. But I just wanted to highlight that. The other thing that wasn't fully clear until I spoke to Bob today was that there's concrete proposed around the perimeter of the building here. So there'll be access provided around the building. Excuse me, a way to get from the ADA stall here up to the main entrance, which is on the side of the building. The applicant, they didn't provide a loading space on the site plan. That's a general requirement. For this specific use in the zone, it's not necessarily required. But we wanted the applicant to talk about deliveries of materials, and loading, unloading. I can't imagine it's a tractor trailer making deliveries for a tattoo parlor, but if the applicant could explain how deliveries are handled, what he anticipates the largest vehicle and the duration for the delivery, I think that would help the board to better understand whether loading space would be appropriate. So, Mr. President or Mr. Darcy, would you like to address that?
Roberto, can you describe for the board what type of deliveries and what size delivery trucks you would anticipate coming to the site, and how often you would anticipate that kind of traffic?
Any deliveries we have are typically standard parcel Amazon delivery, small packages, nothing major where there's box trucks sitting for a long period of time or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real retail component associated with it. It's strictly service, and like selling packaged goods or anything like that.
I'm
Correct,
sorry,
service
Ryan, was that a
based.
question? I didn't pick it up.
Yes, I was just making sure there's not like a retail component. You're not there's no shelves to stock. There's no, nothing like that. I just want to clarify.
That's correct. This is basically a service operation, a tattoo parlor.
How many
Yes, moving on.
employees will be there? How many employees are going to be in the building at one time? Is it just him?
Roberto, can you answer that? How many employees do you anticipate would be there during the 8-hour shift? And how many days a week would you be open?
So it would be open like 7 days a week, and then we have 5 service providers, including myself. So the most there would be 5 of us.
Are you doing walk-ins also, or is this appointment only?
The majority of our business is appointment based. If there's an artist available, there will take and walk in. There's not typically a lot of opportunity for that. They do try to stay pretty busy, which we're hoping for.
Okay, Ryan, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If you got more, go ahead.
No, I think the partner question to that is anticipated hours of operation.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so go ahead, Tom.
I'm sorry. You said 7 days a week. What would be your hours on those various days, Roberto?
Since we are primarily by appointment, they will vary, but the earliest being 9 a.m. Latest it could be about 10 p.m. ish. We really rarely have anyone there that late.
There's not a specific prohibition for hours of operation. We just like to, document for the file so that the code enforcement has an understanding of things sort of happen in the future. Okay, so moving on, landscaping of parking lots is a requirement of the site plan design standards. There were no trees proposed as part of the application. There wasn't like a full landscaping plan. I believe Mr. Bruce mentioned that in his outlining of the project. There are a number of large trees on site. There are some that need to be removed. I believe that the city also has a tree replacement ordinance, so we'll have to account for the trees that are removed to make sure that they're replaced somewhere on site. As Mr. Bruce indicated, there's ample room on site for that, so I don't think that'll be an issue. We'll have to make sure that the numbers match up. The applicant is required to have a lighting plan that conforms with IES standards. They provide a lighting plan, but Bob, can you speak to the best of your knowledge, will this conform with IES lighting standards?
Bob, can you provide some comments on the proposed lighting for the site?
Yeah, well, we have shown some lighting contours on the site. We could entertain putting another light towards the Boston exit, a freestanding fixture, and might light that exit area a little better. I can demonstrate that to Ryan, not Brian.
Just so we understand the plan, you have a proposed light fixture here, kind of illuminating the lot.
Yeah, one fixture.
Yeah, right. So one here, and then the other.
We would add one. See where the double arrows are going out towards Boston?
Mm-hmm.
The other end. Yeah, right in there. We add one right in.
Okay. Just so you have a little more even lighting across the site. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be helpful, because I think over time we're going to end up with minimal lighting at the exit and entrance. So I do think it would be helpful to make this drive.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so next item in the ordinance was screening. So the ordinance in multiple locations, I'll sort of cover them all here, requires that parking areas be screened. There's also a requirement for a 5-foot buffer along property lines for setbacks. Since the neighboring use is commercial, and I think the parking lot geometry uses this space about as tight as possible. It's got the minimal drive aisle width here and space depth, and then minimal 5-foot width off the building frontage. So I think that the layout makes sense, but some kind of visual screening along the side would help the operation to comply with the ordinance. How the board feels about that, but just want to highlight that as a requirement of the ordinance. So, oops, sorry. Trash enclosure, refuse disposal. We talked about. Mr. Bruce indicated that they will add a trash enclosure. But just for everyone's sake on the call, I think Mr. Bruce indicated it'll be somewhere on here on the site where everyone can see my mouse on the screen. So that seemed like the right spot to
up in there. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, the truck. I'm thinking of the guy picking it up, but it's going to be a garbage can, basically.
Let me call
So
you back.
right. So
Because he's having trouble with his Zoom meeting.
Yeah, because it went out now.
So I don't think you need you won't be a full runoff enclosure or anything, but if you have an enclosure out here and they can wheel the cans out to the terrace, rather than have the frontage here where you have homes.
Well, definitely not over there.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't make sense to be on the Boston Avenue frontage. It wouldn't make sense to be in front of the building. So I think somewhere in the space back here is probably the most logical location. Do you agree?
okay.
Okay, so next would be street trees. So there's a requirement to plant street trees based on the frontage. We talked about the tree replacement ordinance. It's also required. So I think we'll have to work together on the landscaping package that makes sense. This covers trees as well. This is the landscaping strip, the 5-foot landscaping that we discussed along the side here. Let's see, we addressed the light standards. You said the height would be 24 feet and the building is approximately 28. Is that correct?
Yes, 28 feet is the height of the building, plus or minus.
Okay. So the light standard is lower than the height of the building, which is Mr. Bruce addressed this one. We had a maximum height of 2 feet for the signs, where 3 feet was proposed. That will be modified down to a maximum height of 2 feet. Another element is that for freestanding signs, the ordinance requires landscaping plantings around the base of the sign. Are you agreeable to adding those?
We can do that. Yes.
Okay. The next requirement is again sort of highlighting landscaping a 5-foot perimeter around the parking lot with vegetation and buffering. The next one is the number of trees required based on the number of spaces. So more than 10 parking spaces, I'm sorry, more than 11 parking spaces is supposed to be a minimum 1 deciduous tree per 6 parking spaces.
Trees.
Let's see. And then again, landscaping section, we want to work together on the landscaping package there. And then the last requirement in that landscaping section is the trash enclosure, which we've already covered. Okay, so moving into general comments, these are not specifically tied to a section of the ordinance. Mr. Bruce already clarified what the space available and prospective business signs were that they would be moved. The concern I expressed was that it indicated that the building would be split for multiple commercial uses, but that is not what's being proposed. Is that correct, Mr. Harrison?
Yeah, single commercial use.
So just wanted to clarify that. The total square footage of the building mounted signs was we just couldn't tell how many faces of the building that we were going to be on. Mr. Bruce, I think you said it would be on the Route 30 frontage. Was it also proposed on any other frontage, or sort of the building mounted signs?
Bob, can you comment on the building mounted sides, please?
Yeah, there will be 2. One that will face 10th Terrace, and one will be on the front facade of the building as you come down the driveway. They'll be 2 feet high and their square footage will conform to the ordinance.
So it'll be the Boston Avenue frontage and the 10th Terrace frontage, is that correct?
They will not have signage.
Okay, so just on the Route 30 frontage?
Not building mounted, no.
Right. Okay. So one sort of suggestion that I made was that, that because of the nature of the shallow groundwater table, this basin is very large relative to the size of the site. So the suggestion I made is to consider a small scale bioretention system or another basin type that incorporates vegetation. As an infiltration basin, the entire bottom of this basin will just be sand to be maintained the same. There are other types that function similarly but incorporate plantings, so it wouldn't have to just be a giant sand pit, 20 feet off of Route 30. So I just wanted to present that for consideration. Again, that wouldn't necessarily be an ordinance requirement, but I think it might help the applicant maintain it long term. To maintaining this as just a barren sand, bottom is going to be difficult. Next 2 comments are just very technical in nature. I already spoke to Mr. Bruce. There's just some language differences between the report and calculations. There was a minimum time of concentration used instead of the calculated, so we talked about that. I don't think that had a huge impact on the calculations. Another suggestion I made is to consider exfiltration during routing calculations, which means taking credit for water going down into the ground during a storm event. The BMP manual allows for that. It was 2023, so that might help reduce the basin footprint a little bit and help preserve some of the rest of the site, which the city, in addition to helping the applicant, the city would look at the city to try to minimize, basin footprints along their commercial frontage. Talked about number 8. Number 9 and 10 just have to do with making sure we're infiltrating the right volume. Sorry, I talked to Mr. Bruce about that, and he understands what we need for that. One of the basins, there's a detail, some issue or the other sheet, where the freeboard for the basin is minimal, I'll say. So the elevation where the spillway is about 5610, and then the elevation at the top of the bank was only a little more than an inch higher. So I asked Mr. Bruce to run some calculations to demonstrate the potential maximum depth of water over the spillway to make sure that the water elevation doesn't need to exceed the basin burden elevation. So that the spillways will function as intended and not just sort of spill out uncontrolled. So that's something that we can work out, but we don't understand. Number 12 was just a typo, Mr. Bruce indicated, so that will be corrected. Number 13 is just some information that we didn't get in the package that was submitted, so by that. We'll have to provide a maintenance plan that'll have to be filed with the dean. That's usually good to just hold off until the entire storm management plan is done and finalized, because the plan is very specific to the details. So I usually wanted to probably for that to be the last thing. Number 15, again, just on the information that was submitted. The 16 and the next couple will have to do with grading on the site. And I spoke to Mr. Bruce today about this a little bit. I think that the depressed curb location will probably have to be relocated. And the one thing that stood out to me was that the grade at the front of the building was a little bit lower than the grade at the back of the curb. So obviously we want to see drainage away from the building. So I think that that's all easily corrected. Grades at the south corner of the parking lot. There's no just a spot here where it's 5650, 5650 here. So we just want to make sure that we have grade to keep the water moving. The depressed curb here will have to be adjusted and flush with the asphalt. And loading space was the last comment that I had. We sort of went through that. Their business will function should not require loading space. in the event that this business were to change to retail or something else that would require deliveries that would not be larger than, say, a passenger vehicle, there's actually more parking than is required by ordinance. So there's potential that one of these spaces can be converted into a loading space if that becomes necessary in the future. I know the application is proposing something specific, but the board members, it's always a positive to look ahead is, is the site still functional if something else were to come in for a change over. So I always try to, address stuff like that. So that's it for technical comments from me. Our recommendation section, what we suggest is if the board is comfortable with the site plan as it's presented, and would like to see adjustments to the landscaping package, and obviously the soil management will need to be adjusted. We can deal with them administratively. The board could provide a condition with the approval that the applicant will have to return to the board if the redesign required the basin's horizontal extent to be enlarged. So like if the basin footprint needed to grow for some reason, they would have to come back because that is a direct impact on the site plan. But if the horizontal extents stay the same or are able to shrink a little bit, and the depth of the basin doesn't increase by more than a foot or so, there's not really anything that rises to the level of needing to come back to the board if you guys are comfortable with that. So that was my suggestion, to be able to allow the applicant to sort out those details without having to come back to the board if it's not something that impacts the site plan in a way that won't necessarily trigger. So that's it for me, unless there are any questions.
Does anybody from the board have any questions? Nobody? I guess we could hear from the public. Is there anybody out there on the public that would like to say something?
Yes, I would. It's Nanette Galloway. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Does she have to be sworn in, Mr. Tyner?
You're muted.
You're muted, Damon.
I solemnly swear to tell the truth, so help me God.
All right, so there is a motion open to the public, and Ms. Galloway being sworn, you may proceed.
Thank you. This is kind of like the first development application that we've had before your board since we adopted our shade tree replacement ordinance. And I just wanted to remind the board that you really should check with the new ordinance requirements. I see, is this lot wooded?
Bob, you want Ms. Galloway asked if the lot is wooded. Could you describe the existing conditions on the property?
Yes, it's not wooded in the sense that it's a vacant lot out in the middle of town or the city. We have clearing on the site. The site has any number of trees on it along the White Horse Pike and Boston Avenue. In that corner of the lot, there's a large oak tree as you come in from onto the lot. And along Boston, there are some trees and shrubs. But to say wooded, I don't know. But to say it contains significant vegetation, I would say it does.
Yeah.
So
you're going to be removing trees then? There are trees there that you're going to have to tear down?
Oh, yeah. There are some that are dead.
Okay. So we have a requirement that they be replaced. I would suggest that you contact our city arborist as early as possible. He's here for another 2 weeks before he leaves. So he can walk you through all that.
Could I get her name and phone number?
Yeah, it's Jerry Barbario, and you can reach him at City Hall. I can get you the number.
Okay, I'll call.
Isn't that something that Ryan should be able to handle?
Yeah, it should, but
Make sure that
I
we're
don't see
following the
that
code.
it's on his report, so I just wanted to mention it.
Adding another person in the mix. Jerry's on his way out the door, so it might be a waste of time to go through Jerry. That's all I'm saying.
Ryan, didn't you,
Agreed.
Well, he knows
Ryan,
his
didn't
stuff, and
you comment on
he's
that?
working for another 2 weeks, so that's why I suggested that Mr. Bruce contact him like as soon as he can, so Jerry could, scope out the property and make his recommendations.
Ryan, isn't that in your report? You had covered
Yeah.
trees in your report.
So we covered all the landscaping plantings, based on the previous ordinance requirements. The tree replacement ordinance, is actually not in the code book that I was using quite yet. So I did not incorporate the, new requirements for the tree replacement. But there, as we discussed sort of at length, I think a larger landscaping package, with plantings along the side of the parking and tree replacement, is what's going to be required. Looking through it, it looks about 6 to 8 trees are proposed to be removed. Some very large diameter. There's a 72-inch plus or minus tree that's indicated to be removed.
Is that tree scheduled for takedown, Ryan?
Well, I'm just based off Mr. Bruce's plan. He's got 72-inch tree, and this TBR in brackets typically is to be removed. So he has a 72-inch tree to be removed here, a 48-inch tree to be removed here, 12-inch here, 36-inch here. So within the footprint of the basin, you have to remove all trees. He's preserving a 48-inch here. And there's a couple other 18-inch tree over here. But again, there'll be a fairly large portion of the site available to plantings. They'll be able to plant some in between the basin and the parking lot itself. They'll be able to plant some over here and then some along the Boston Avenue frontage. So I think there's plenty of room to make the appropriate street tree plantings, parking lot plantings, and replacement plantings. We'll make sure that the numbers match up with the ordinance requirement and species as well.
Anyone else? Lynette, do you have anything else?
No, just keep an eye on the banned species and the approved species too. No Bradford pears.
Okay. Well, we're in pinelands, so we're limited to pinelands species.
Well, we can help you with that.
No, okay, I can read. Thank you.
All right, is there anybody else from the public? Again, anybody from the board have anything to say? I guess we're looking for a motion. Can anyone make a motion?
Motion.
And that's just to confirm, a motion to approve preliminary and final site plan approval.
Yes.
Second.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Damon,
Properly moved, seconded, call to question.
say it again, Damon, I'm sorry.
I said it's properly moved and second. Any questions? Seeing none, hearing none, you want to do a roll call vote?
Well,
Ready?
we want to do the motion in a positive,
Yeah, it's a motion to approve preliminary and final site plan approval.
okay. Donna, could you do a roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Chimpetti,
Yes.
Mr. Garth,
Yeah.
Mr. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. McKenna,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
and Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Thank you, board members. Thank you, professionals. And Ryan, thanks for facilitating the Zoom meeting, doing all the work with the site plan. We appreciate that.
Of course. Have it out.
I'd like to thank the professionals for coming to us with a good plan and answered most all the questions before we even had to ask them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, Mr. Perez.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom.
Good luck.
Same here. Thank you.
Okay, so Madam Secretary, and Mr. Chair, I guess you have two announcements, that this application will be continued at the next regularly scheduled meeting for a, use variance application. And, Madam Secretary, did you want to announce that at that meeting, the second application that was originally scheduled for tonight will also be heard?
Yes, it will.
Okay, and could you just say that application for the record?
The application that will be heard at the July meeting, which will be, hold on a second. Will be July 21st. The application will be application number 2026-03, DMB White Pike LLC, located at 26 White Horse Pike, Egg Harbor City.
Very good.
So that will be heard. Those two applications will be heard. And Mr. Chairman, I'll turn it back over to you for any other business.
Thank you. Old business. We have none. Council report. We don't have a council report tonight. Is there anybody out in the public that would like to have another comment or anything that they'd like the questions answered or anything like that? Okay, I guess we're good there. Questions and comments from the board? All right, motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Very good.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank you. You
Good
too.
night.
Have a good night.
All right, Donna.
All right, I'm gonna